Yeah.
All right. This talk is intended for educational purposes only. It reflects our opinions and is based on our best judgment, but no warranty is given or implied as to their accuracy. Past performance does not guarantee future performance, and no investment or trading advice whatsoever is implied by our coverage, commentary, or charts. Now, segueing right from that discussion on the April challenges, a lot of that can be kind of seen here in the actual SPY chart. If you look at this yellow highlighted mark, that candle there is where we last met, April 20th. Today is May 4th. And what is the trend here since then? To me, it's just sideways, right? We've just been pretty much in a range. The last week has been even a much tighter range. I mean, this looks terrible, right? And so what I had been mentioning and what we've been talking about for a while now is the selectivity, stock selection, things like that. It's becoming increasingly important. There's a quote, you're only as good as the stocks that you trade. And in this market, that is extremely true, especially as I don't know if you guys had seen the seasonality piece, but we are entering, seasonally the worst period of the year. And so what that means is basically generally during May, there will be, perhaps negative returns for the index or just very modest returns. So it's just something to keep in mind. It's the expectations are low right now. In addition to that, we continue to just kind of grind the top of this channel here. Now I was talking with Mario before we got started here. What does an ideal scenario look like for SPY? And that's going to be honestly like a retest of the 50 MA into this 400 area. That's going to be, the prior breakout point. You have the 50 MA and the channel low. That's like that is a spot to, start looking for a lot of swing exposure in those charts that are not broken, things that are looking good. Now, worst case scenario, and I think we had mentioned it in the last session, it's correction through time, right? Continuing to go sideways here. That again, sideways and chop is what I like to refer to as P&L frustration. Generally there's not a lot happening in the market. You have to be on top of quick moves. Like Mario said a few minutes ago, is like one day you're scalping when you should be holding for the move. The next day you're holding when you should have been scalping, right? And that's a very hard distinction to make, without some type of tool like the market kind of assisting you. So it's something to keep in mind here. I don't really want to see this play out, but it is a scenario that can happen. Now, in terms of levels, same as last session, pretty much we're in the exact same spot. We've got like 410 and 411. If this kind of, I'll call it a support zone, fails, I expect, we'll start to see some of this filled, right? It's probably not going to happen in one session, but it's just something to keep in mind. There's not, I don't know what the volume profile looks like for this, but I imagine there's not a lot of volume being done there. So this can be a quick move, but whether or not, something like this happens in a single session, probably unlikely. So it's just something to keep in mind here. 410 to 411 is going to be the main area to watch. You can see we held it today with a bit of a hammer. There's the 21 MA, that white line. So some things to watch: 410, 411, 414 is the 21 MA, and then the range high, we'll call that 420. So that's what I'm looking at, and some potential scenarios to consider. Mario, if you want to go ahead and take it away here, I'll pass it over to you.
Sir.
Should be good now.
Okay. That's my number 2 screen right here. So you see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
So just 1 second. Let's go where we were. Basically, last time we talked about the key, and this is pretty much what Kyle talked about, right? We were into the same pretty much range. This was the weekly that we saw We have the FIPS right here, the 349. There was a chance that we could have get gotten there basically. So we were looking at the 342 by 334, right? That was the weekly chart. This is the last time we saw each other. That was a couple weeks ago. And then here's today. Basically, here's the chart for today. So this is a daily chart of the triple Qs, the Nasdaq. Here's what's interesting, right? So we have the move. Here's 420, which is the last session. We have the 334. We tested a couple times, and then that was actually those were like probably 2 3 decent days in April, in a sense that well, that was the end of April basically. That if you were actually thinking that this was going to be support, you probably have a couple decent trades right there, and then you come into the potential breakout play. But then you're gonna need like confirmation. We were looking at the volume. Volume was like pretty low. You know, like I know it's average, but you see the average how is like this is the average that we were doing like probably a month ago, month and a half ago. We're doing like almost 80 million shares, and now our average is like 50. So a day like today looks like huge, right? But it was just like pretty much like what we were doing a couple months ago, right? So it's seasonality. Some people ask us how was it like in during the summer. So this is pretty much what we don't want to see, but probably we're gonna get like summer trading, a lot of chop, low volume days, and then eventually one big day because we finally broke a level. So that's where we are. We had the 334 by 342.80. I just corrected through 343 just for for our sake. So we know that 343, once we hold over 343, we may see a test of 349, and then we start projecting the Fibonacci's. We all know how to do that. But the most interesting part comes into what happened next, right? Because what we had is like this was Thursday. I think it was a big earnings from Facebook and Apple, right? So we were expecting uh, blast off, right? Finally, I think Facebook gap up and it was like big up, so big surprise, everything. Numbers from Apple like big also, but it was a big disappointment. As far as the stock, we're gonna see the stock too. We were in a base, so I was expecting it to actually break and gap up. It didn't, so that was like a negation. That was like a big no. That's not what you want to see on good results, right? Technically. So what we had is like the day ended up being a down day, right? I know it's a hammer, right? But the action, we have the big news. We couldn't break to new highs, no volume, nobody was buying the breakout. So next way that I usually trade this is I wait for the high to be taken, right? The confirmation. So it never came. And then this is Friday, right? You guys know I wasn't trading Friday, I wasn't trading Monday. So this is it. And then today we have finally have like a decent scenario, right? If you're looking at that, now you're gapping under support. So that's a continuation play. Now comes the question. So where do we go from there, right? Where do we go? Well, the thing is that you have the 50 MA right here at that was like 329. So then you get into okay, it's 334, but that's the question we were talking, right? When do you have when is this gonna be like the 334 to 320 test or 310? Or is this just gonna be like a quick scalp that we can take to the short and then immediately shift your mind and go long, right? That's what makes it a little bit more complicated. So I'm coming in here trying to see this is going to be the reference levels we're going to be working, and you're going to understand what the 324. So now we got the 324, right? We got the 334, the 343 for the Qs, 343 I'm bullish, 334 I'll be working with this range, and then we have a new range 324, 334 that we're going to have to be looking at, right? So same concern that Kyle has that he was expressing via the spy is that we're gonna start into the chop. Remember what happened here, guys. Remember, this was not easy either, right? So we have a really good run last year, and probably this year we have a couple good weeks like this. This is pretty awesome. It doesn't matter where you buy. Pretty much you can buy whatever and make money.
Making money. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So that's what it's called a bull move, a bull market. It's not that we overnight became better traders. It's just the market's with us, and that's what we want, right? That's my A plus trade. I need the market with me. So the whole thing we're gonna be trying to do today is see what stocks are setting up like the market and see if we can find some good moves at some key levels that we can take advantage of. This is just I like to run like trying to see who can tell me what's going on in the markets, since especially I wasn't trading today. So I just run a basic fib, right, from the last entry. This is the highest low, right? This is the low. This is the highest low. So this is a pivot. Why is this a pivot, not this one? Well, because this one broke this one, so I'm taking this one. So you run the fib from here. Whoever wants to do it on their own, you run the fib from the low to the high. The high could be 342.80 or 342.40. It's going to be the same. So from here, and this is what you see here, right? Here's the fib from here up until here. Guess where we stopped today?
50%.
50%. 325.84. So we have a 50% retracement on the Qs on the last move. From there, what can we see, right? We have the 330. Oh, by the way, that's where we close. 38%. Right? So if we start failing here, we can see something around the 321. But usually what happens is after 50% retracement, and now we close at 38, we should try to revisit sort of this area right here at 340. So I won't be surprised if by tomorrow, of course, anything can happen. If we gap down, we know we're going to be looking at the 321, right? The 61.8, just because it's a 61.8. If we don't see it, now we have the point of control right here, which is like 314, I think it is 317, and then we can update you through the day. But the main thing I want you guys to look at is like, wow, what a coincidence that the only day that we actually moved and we broke under support is gonna stop perfectly at the fibs. So that's something to keep in mind when we're doing our research, when we're doing our preparation. You guys gotta know where the fibs are, right? Like, okay, here's the 330, where's the 38%, where's the 50%, where's the 61%, in case we do a retracement. So this is a good framework for what's coming over the next few days, I'll say. So we're gonna be looking at the 330 tomorrow. The 325 is gonna take. Of course, if we go over today's high, which is a 334, we back into the range that we want, the 334 to 342. Okay, that's pretty much the game that we have. Game plan. Going back over here, that's the 334. We back in here and that. So let's hunt for some. Let me get out of here and let's hunt for some ideas now that we know exactly what is that we want to see, right? That we're looking for. So let's get into our normal list of stocks. So let's go to see the Apple, right? So the Apple, we know that this is what we talk about. They try to break it on good news, big volume, fail. This is a failed breakout. Now we have the support. This is exactly the cues. If you ask me, guys, this is exactly the cues. So I think I'm gonna continue calling Apple plays as marketplace. In case I want to play the market, I'll probably go to Apple because you have higher beta. So that could be something. It's also doing a lot of volume. I don't want to see disconnect in Apple and Qs. The moment I start seeing disconnect between Apple and the Qs, like Apple coming down and the Qs going up, then I'll be like a little bit more worried. And then I'll be like probably looking at I don't know who next is gonna be, like Facebook or probably Amazon, or I gotta check the charts of Google. But this could be like if I'm looking for a rebound in the Qs, if I want to see tomorrow we gotta go to 134, then I would expect Apple to be at 132 and play that same range. Not loving it, but the call for Apple is pretty simple. We're gonna be looking at the 124 by 134 as a range. Okay. So that's 124 to 135 as a range, and keeping an eye on the Qs. We wanted to see like a correlation with the Qs, a positive correlation with the Qs. Let's go into Amazon. Let's do the FANG then, and then Amazon. What we have is a pullback into the 50 MA. We have a massive area of support right here with all the volume. That was the same exact place where we pretty much run from. into the highs posted on earnings day. So this is a pullback. Let's see the weekly if there's anything we can do right here. So we pretty much testing and getting back into the chop. Not looking good for if we continue going down, but I think this is sort of what we call a pullback entry. If you're really aggressive, you should be looking at the 3390, 3400. I'm probably trying to take it to highs. But again, guys, this has to be done with the cues. How far can this go? Hey, we got down tomorrow. Of course, Amazon is going to go and test probably 3200, which is right there. Is a 20 MA. We all can see it. And we have plenty of volume right here. But it's clear, and I expect it's clear for every single one of us, that we have massive interest in Amazon at the 3187, call it 32, right? And then the 3310 was a major level right here, right? This one, I think is more like a self-fulfilling prophecy. The 50 MA, people see the 50 MA, oh, it's going to bounce right there. But what I really like is the fact that we close right at the highest volume after, of course, the whole year, right? So this one right here still holding. This is all this base that we did right here. So I think this is as good a place to start looking for trades, to structure a trade in Amazon. It could take probably 1 or 2 days if it doesn't trigger tomorrow. But as long as we are between the 3300 and the 3400, I think we can look for a trade in Amazon with the market. So 3300, 3400, look for setup, look for a pattern, right? To play along with the market bullishly, right? Once we break, I want to have alarms in the 3150, and all we're going to do right there is going to be like Amazon at point of control. Let us know. Let's see if it's going to hold or if it's going to break, because we don't know where the market is going to go, right? We're not trying to anticipate right here. We have no idea what's going to happen with that. So Facebook, let's see what's going on. This one's very nice, actually. So we talk about this. This was actually one with the good earnings, the good movement. That's what you want to see. I understand it looks really bad, right? Like if you think like, oh, you close the gap or whatever. Well, still a bullish gap, because what you expect is that if there's like a lot of commitment right here, there's a lot of buying right here. So we see where the volume is. We see some volume in here, so likely a lot of people got left uh, out, to put it somewhere, some way. They got left out, with the surprise up or surprise numbers or whatever it is. So, needless to say, they're probably not going to be chasing. There's some profit taking right here. What I want to see usually is I want to see a pullback into the prior break point with control. I don't want to see too much red. So, this is actually one of my prime watches, right? I want to see this 316 is going to be key on Facebook, right? The 316, which is the prior all-time high, prior all-time highs, or prior pivot high. We can call it prior pivot high. And then what I want to see is I want to see an entry, right? An entry could be the moment we start taking the prior day high. So it could be 33, 322 or 319. You can do 320, you can be 322. What is going to determine how aggressive you are? Well, what the cues are doing, and also what the volume is on Facebook. If you start seeing big volume, feel free to be a little bit more aggressive, but that's every individual trader that has to make that decision, right? Technically, you wait for the prior day high, and the stop is the low of the day, and you expect it to go to new all-time highs, because the call should be for new all-time highs. So we're looking at 316. I'm going to call it again as technically as I can, and over 322 for 332 and all-time highs. So project that one into probably 1 or 2 ATRs more. So that's going to put you like a 340, 345, probably, if you're thinking on swinging it, right? I don't want to go spend too much time into swings, because I don't think I'll be surprised if the market starts running. But yeah, we gotta keep that anyways as an option, right? So we got the FDA, the A, and Netflix will be the other one, right?
Yeah, and
So let's see
Google.
what was that?
And
Uh,
Google too after this.
and Google. Okay, cool. So we got Netflix, and Netflix, we were waiting for the news. Probably pretty much the same setup as Apple in here. Instead of breaking out, it just broke down, or the following day it was some news and it gapped down. So we're holding pegged to point of control. I think we've been looking at this one as a possible idea over the 520. If we're thinking on doing swings or like overnight swings, when I'm talking about swings, I'm talking probably 2 3 days, 5 days. I'm not talking about a core position or a leap or a longer term, but just like trying to get into the a little bit of piece of the move, like 520, 540. How can I get those 20 points, right? Those will be like I'm gonna have to wait for the 520. I need to see 520, right? um Intraday, and if you want to be bearish, you're gonna start. You don't have to start asking yourself some questions, right? I was looking at some material over my slow days, and one of the things that you start looking is like when the market is like dropping, like today we broke a level, right, the 334. We pretty much flush into the 50 ma. So what did Google or what did Netflix do? What did Apple do? And what was the action in Facebook? You can see that the chart in Facebook looks like way better than the ones in Apple, right? The Apple one looks like just like the cues. In this case, what I can say is like, well, we didn't pretty much break. You cannot call this one a breakdown, right? We stopped right there at 497. So for me, that's not a breakdown. I mean, for me, if at all, I see tails right here at point of control. So are they still accumulating? I don't need to be a hero trying to pick it up, but what I want to make sure is that I want to have alarms at the 515, 520, and 525 for Netflix. I'm trying to get it to 540. So for Netflix, I'm going to look at support resistance I'm sorry, support. And I'm going to be using that point of control in the daily, that zone around 500 as support. But I want to play with momentum. So for me, it's going to be, I'm going to say it again, right? The five, I want to have an alert at 514, 515. Over 515, I want to see 520. We close over 520. I want to try to get 540. That'll be the best case scenario, right? So that's the Netflix play. Let me see the weekly. I want to make sure the weekly is in synchronicity with what I'm thinking. So you see right here, what we're trying to break is like out of 493. Of course, if we start breaking in here, you're gonna start like I'm gonna start changing my view out of Netflix, right? And this could absolutely happen. You can call this well, I don't know. It's the main thing why I'm not bearish at this moment is because I have all of these buying. So I'm in a range. I'm range trading, right? The weekly chart is telling me is a range. Daily chart is telling me is a range, and we haven't been able to break. If we break, you know what to do. We just play the momentum. Simple, right? And then we do Google, and let's see what Google is doing, which is a beautiful chart. I think it's a nice chart. It's sort of like kind of like the Facebook chart, right? So what we have is like same right here. That's probably the news and earnings report. Pull back, held into the base. That's what we want to see. And then whatever's going to happen is going to be dictated by the 2325. So Google over 2325 could be a momentum trade, right? Target one is going to be the 2430 most likely, which is not big, but I know it's 100 something points, but it's $2,000. So it is good, still good. And then we take it from there. Because what I want to do once we get there is you run your FIPS from here to here, and then you do the projections. Okay. So let's do, what do we do
Microsoft
from,
in there.
okay, MSFT, um, Microsoft, same thing. Earnings, I don't know what they were. Amazing, probably. Nothing happened. So now it's coming down. So that's testing the 50 MA. Guys, use the 50 MA for shorter term. Usually the first time you touch it, it's not going to go like through butter, especially when you look to your left. Always look to your left, and you come to your left, and this is what you're going to be seeing, right? So you see all of this accumulation or distribution at that times, but there's like a memory, right? This is a price. This is a price that has a memory, right? Then you have the 50 MA. So what do I want to do from here? If we're gonna continue going down, actually this could be a short, right? You start breaking 246, 36, then you can probably see 240 and 234, right? Reason is because after this, I don't see much. Like I don't see all of the um, cluster that I saw in Netflix, right? This one is actually trending down, right? We just put a new high right here. Well, not a new high, I'm sorry, higher low right here, and it just fell. So Microsoft, I'll be looking for probably a short under what was the level? Oh, if we break the 50 MA, the 244, right? 246, 244, and take it into 236. So I'm gonna call it a bear. So under 245, 244, for 236. Emphasize, guys. I want to repeat this one so that it's not only recorded in my mind but in yours, guys. Like try to be in synchrony with the market. So we're gonna be so important. And then being able to pick that stock that is gonna move that day, ideally for the whole day. So now we have the Microsoft out of the way. Do you want to do the chips then, as usual?
Yeah.
Let's go with Nvidia. And boy, this was bad. So what we have, and this is interesting right here, because we're still working with this massive volume in here, which is 527. We haven't tested yet. So that's where I actually have my alert right here. So that's the point of control. That's the 20 MA. We tested the 50 for the first time, and there that is exactly where we close. If we put it to like if we make it like counting hands and what type of chart is this? I promise you, I don't think we're gonna get consensus. I want to go into weekly. Let's see if it's gonna show us something. So on the weekly chart, what I can see is like probably we can do like we have this move up, right? And all we're doing is just a pullback. But in order for this to be triggered, we will need a close over 615, right? So that will be my weekly chart. My play of the weekly chart would be like for Nvidia, right? On a weekly chart over 615. Now we're gonna get more into the detail. We're gonna have to come and read what's going on a daily. On a daily, I really like someone might tell me that yeah, you can buy tomorrow over 586, but then 595 could be. So that's more of like a intraday day trade that we're gonna be able to pick up based on momentum, right? So that'll be momentum. But the big one that I want to be in is if we start going over 615, 6616 on a closing basis, because that thing, I think with some not too bad news about the shortage in chips or something can take us to new all-time high 645, 660, 670. Okay. So that's for Nvidia. I want to trade it off the weekly chart mainly. I want to go to AMD, and this one's so hard. The AMD is just massive chop. Look at the monthly, hasn't done anything. We're inside a range. It's tradable range up to some point because we can see 10 points, which is 12, 13% moves, but then you have to get like a really good entry, right? The last good entry was probably right at the 50 MA. That's where we are. We rejected 89.90 into earnings, right? That was it. It couldn't make it. They gap it up. I think I tried to pick this one on the day of the earnings as a gap, and they stopped me like so fast. It's not even funny. So it was like horrible. The sentiment was horrible, and then it continued for 5 days. So no trade right there as far as changing momentum. The momentum is clearly to the downside. 78.75 means that we already broke under this level right here from market profile, which is the 81, right? So what I'm looking is probably for an extension into 72. Is this the best short? Not to my liking, just because of the all the action that we have right here. But I'm aware that we have all of this level. So if these are really sellers, and once we start coming back we start seeing selling, I'm gonna have to probably think about this one being a short too. Okay, so basically what I'm looking is for an entry, right? A higher entry so that I can short this one. Okay, so AMD remains as a bear watch, although I don't really have an entry or an idea right here. Okay, when would I become bullish again? Well, we can go over 85. So that's like 10% higher. So over 85, yeah, let's think about probably getting into that one. So that's AMD. Intel, I don't even know what's that one's doing these days. So uh we can put on alert at 58.43. Not my favorite thing to trade. Tight, small candles. So that's for me like summer trading, small candles, low volatility. I don't want to get into that one. Marvel, um, volume's okay. Holding the 20 MA right there. That's the 200, by the way. I'm talking about the 20 MA, and this is not the 20. That's the 200 MA, 200 and the 50. Right. So that could be some sort of support if you're looking for a quick trade. Reversal trade with the market. If there's some news in semiconductors, this is not horrible to be honest, like 44 to 47. That's a 10% scalp that we can make. Calling scalp because I don't know where that's gonna open. So we have the weekly chart. So we have the massive pullback into the 50 MA. We held right there. This is like two standard deviations. So it went through the whole move from two standard deviations to two standards, and then it tried go to the mean, which is a 21 moving average right there. You can see it. And now we're testing. We tested today the two standard deviations plus the 50 MA on a weekly. So that's a good zone, 42.55, right? So we see it right here. That's 200 MA. This could be a good entry. I mean, like if we have the volume tomorrow, we can probably do something with this, like over 44 for a reversal trade to 47. I'm just gonna write it down. 47 is the daily point of control. Any other any chips?
MU.
AMAT. Oh, MU, right. So for AMAT, that somebody asked, it's like I wanna trade it versus 120. I want to trade it over 133. Okay. Yeah. So MU, I totally forgot about MU. I just don't like that. I like it like 2-3 times a year, I'll say. So for AMAT, I think it's trying to find like you asked me. I'll say it's a sideways move on the daily. So we're clearly near point of control. So there's a lot of interest right here. I want to see how we react if we get momentum to the upside over 88, over 90. That'd be interesting. And then if we start breaking, but the thing is like, look where we stopped last time. This green bar, and if you go look to your left, you're gonna see that there's volume right here. So this is probably gonna be a tough one to break, right? The 80, that 80. Then you come right here. So it's a chop, and these are the tails that I'm talking about. So that I know there's like could be support into the 80, 81, 82. So I don't know if I'm gonna really want to go short. Is that gonna be the best short, right? Keep an eye over 88 point of control. So my call is just gonna be the MU watch, the point of control. It's just getting harder and harder. Like last year was so easy, like calling things and making projections, and everything was hitting like 130, 140%, right? Now he's getting more into finding that needle in the haystack, basically. Like everything seems similar right here, right? You can say, yeah, we can short on 36, or you can go long over 38. And how is that going to help you? Well, you're going to have to wait till tomorrow, see if the market is acting, see if volume is right there. I like the fact that this one's like 3 days on higher than average volume. It looks like 12.5. So yeah, it was earnings yesterday. So yeah, that's probably the reason why. I mean, 42. I'll probably like it on the 36, on the 35. I'll keep another alert and try to see where that one's gonna go. Are we done with the chips?
Qualcomm.
Qualcomm 5G, right? So Qualcomm, Qualcomm tried to break, and the 140 monthly buy failed because it happened on the day of the earnings. So what we have is like a 3 or 4 day pullback into the 200 MA. What I want to see again, just because of where the market is standing right now, I want to see some momentum prior to me thinking on going long. And I don't think it's a short, to be honest, just because we have the 200 MA. Of course, you can always short. It's based on your all based on everyone's individual trading style, and you can short the break of the 200 into the two standard deviations. That's 2 points, and yeah, it's a valid play if you can get out of momentum. What I like is I like the fact that we are now in a squeeze. We have a 5 day squeeze that even it happens actually after the earnings report. We have a clear target right here as a point of control. So if I can see a regaining of 138, I'll probably go 138 to 145 for Qualcomm. Okay, sort of reversal trade, reversal to the mean trade. 138 for 145 point of control. Okay, quick check, right? This is what I'm trying to time my things, right? Like if the market is going to hold right there, the 50 MA, I want to see who's going to give me a boost into, whatever. Tomorrow we see it like gapping up or started trading like well for the day. You see the volume today. Volume was not bad, 124%, slightly higher than average, but right at the five day average. But probably we can get some momentum trades like there. So 137, 145. Once we go over 145, we start talking about the monthly buy, right? Monthly buy now stands that we need to clear the high from the earnings day. So that's going to be like 146, 148, and then yada, 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 yada. Okay. So that's for Qualcomm. Are we following with the other?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. What is it called? The streamers.
Streamers.
AYX. Is that that's chips too? Okay, let me check it. So for Disney, what I like about Disney, we've been talking about this level too, like for the longest time. If you look at the daily, I mean at the yearly chart right here, right? So this is basically the average for the whole year. We're talking May now, so we're talking about 5 months. This has been going on for 5 months. So that's the level, 184 by 182.42. 182.46 is holding. We have the squeeze count is at 15 days. So pretty much since last time we talked, this thing's been squeezing, right? You try to break, it didn't. That was yesterday, apparently. Yes. So I want to keep an eye on Disney, especially if we start triggering the monthly chart right here over 191. Now let's go into the weekly and see if we can get a earlier entry, and that could be, yeah, it's pretty much the same, 190.50. And I want to be trading this. This is what I want to. This is the trade I want to do in Disney, right? 190 to 203, target one. I want to make sure the last time we talked about 180 to 200. So yeah, that's the range, right? 180 to 200. That was the last time range. So I think we're probably safer just waiting for the 190. Okay, so that's the Disney. Netflix, we already did it. So we got Roku now, and so Roku apparently is back to being Roku. The whole meat of the volume stands at 350 now, 350 by 360. So we have 3 or 4 days coming down. You can see the 350 here too. Formation, uh, monthly chart, selling right here, red. Um, Guys, I think I don't remember what I called last time for Roku, but I think Roku stays as a short. Last time we called it Roku under 345 for 326 and 300. So I think this one stays. Um, 345 trigger yesterday actually. So I think we stay with the same I won't be surprised if we test the 300 easily 286. So it has to be momentum. It has to be momentum, right? Main reason is because like next level of supports. Look where we are, 133. I don't have volume in here. There's a little bit right here, but that's 279. So that's still like 40 points away. So I think stay with this one. Stay with the Roku short idea. So Roku has to be Momo. We're gonna try to get to 300 and 286 as targets. 300 and 286. Entry will be intraday based on your trading style, right? As long as we don't go over 356, 355, 356, you can try to get an entry on that one. Let's do the payments. I put a letter right here, and let's do square. Sorry. So for square, what we had is like we have the 231 daily point of control. We right there, right? And last time we were thinking over 260 over 280. We never triggered the 260. I know it looked like we almost did, but apparently not even my alert was triggered right there, 261. So for square, I want to see now based on where we are today. I want to see 241, 260, and I probably trade that one, right? And that's range trading, right? In case they show me the volume, um, I'm gonna probably be doing 240 for 259, right? If I can get any of that move. Actually, 243. I'm sorry. Let me correct that one. 243. 243. I wanna clear that 50-day moving average. I'll take this one off. I don't need that one. So all I'm doing is like 1, 2, 3, 4 into support, proven to be support. If we are at 253, that means that we are on a green day. So that means momentum is back to the up. And I want to see follow through on that one. If we have the follow through, we play momentum. So 243, 250, whatever it takes you, right? But we're working with the 231 from here, right? And that's square. And then I'm going to go into PayPal. And PayPal is different. PayPal looks different. See Square, I think Square tried to break actually, and then made a significant lower high right here. So you see the high, and then like momentum really losing it here, right? So mm, asterisk right there. This one is more of a like double top. It never go. It couldn't even break the first time. Of course, if we go over 280, I'm interested. So now what I'll be looking to do is I wanna keep an eye on PayPal at the 240 level, right? If we continue going here 240, I want to see if there's any sign of momentum changing. Will I short? Again, it's a momentum thing. So if you're into shorting momentum, you can absolutely short prior day low 247 and try to take it for 242, which is not bad. But at any point in time, you can expect the buyers to step in. And I tell you from experience in over the last couple of weeks, it's been really hard to short. Really, really hard to short. And that's PayPal. So for PayPal, I'm gonna be watching daily point of control. That's my main thing for PayPal, and it stands at 238.50, which is 239 to 40, pretty much. Um, you want to do Mastercard and all those things? Let me get out the AYX because I think I heard somebody on CNBC talking about this. Yeah, Alteryx. What's the deal? Check data, consolidation, earnings today, consolidation for a while. Yeah, long-term consolidation, breaking down from 86, so it's down 12 points. From 86, 12 points down. Yeah. Yep, we can see the possible distribution right here. 86 was the entry. Hmm. You can test 60. Yep. But it's momentum. I mean, just go with the
It's
trend.
gapping up, Mario.
Oh, it's gapping up. So then it's an earnings play, right? 87. Okay, we're back here. 87. We play it we play it as a gap then. Keep an eye. No biggie. 87. If we can clear, yeah, 89, which is a 50 MA, could be interesting. Absolutely. So this AYX, I'm gonna put it here as a gap then for tomorrow. It's a gap play. Okay. Visa and MasterCard, those I don't like to play. Uh yeah. I'm gonna stop doing calls on these ones because it's just like, 233 for 237, all-time highs, pullback. MasterCard, mm, chop. If you can get a good entry, like get a moving average with volume, probably that's where. Yeah, over 90. That could be it. Let's do. I have next one is Tesla. So let's go with the EVs. So what's going on with Tesla? I haven't seen it since Thursday, and has done nothing. Pretty much. I think the main thing here to continue to watch is this whole. How is this gonna get resolved? Right? 678 by 710. So this is what we've been dealing. This is a daily point of control. I want the move if it's gonna come out of that. So we knew that not even the earnings moved it. So I don't know what's gonna come. Probably a tweet from Elon saying that they're ramping production or whatever, something like that. I don't know when's that gonna happen. So there's nothing I can do. All I can do is just watch 727, 730, right? Keep my alerts because what I want to go is if we go over yeah, probably 720. It's gonna be the place where I'm gonna be trying something. So for Tesla, let's look at the 720 and 650. Of course, is the bottom of the range, right? We tested today. We overshoot a little bit. Like if you want to be too precise, then probably you were probably doing 667. But 650 right here, so you have all of this. So it's a tough level. It's a tough level for this one. Um, Keep an eye low, higher low. If we start making a higher low right here, so that's what probably I'll be looking for, like a 720 on a solid closing basis on a weekly chart. Probably gonna be like the third higher low. Then probably propel us for the 800 that I've been thinking we can get into Tesla. Okay, so that's Tesla. Then we have the Neo that I know was moving a little bit last. I know that there were some people trading this. So for last time we say over 40, 50 for 42 and 45. So that looked like try to work, but at best I think we hit 42. I don't think we hit 45 ever. So 42. So what's the call that I want to do here? Clearly 40 is accumulation, or I mean, it's the point of control for the year. So what I'm looking is I want to see this monthly chart get resolved, right? Like once we start seeing 43, I'll feel more confident into playing it a little longer holding. 43, 45, 43 could be the trigger. Close over 45, but this is a main thing. Like if you look at this, I'll say the last 6 weeks, it's unless you're scalping it here, it's like it's just a range, right? It's just a range, and that's Neo. What's the other ones? XPEF, China. Um, I really don't know how to trade this. Like now the volatility is so low, the range is becoming tighter. Although it says that the ATR is 2, so that's 2 points. So that's what, 10%. Wow, big ATR. I'm not sure. This might be some sort of mistake. I don't think this thing moves it does move 2 points a day. So yes, Doesn't look like because it's coming from 74, but this thing moves. So let's try to find. No, guys, I don't want to mess with this one till we clear probably 33, 34. At least so that I can use this level and try to take it for 46. So 34 for 44, 47 for XPV. Um, we took look at FSR, Fisker. Fisker. So for Fisker, we said last time we were talking about 1550 for 16. Never trigger. So I think that's the same play. 1560 for 16. I think there was news or something. So it's right there staring us with the big volume, green volume, big bar, and it's just failed. So that's why you actually, a lot of the times, this is like a perfect example, right? You have it right here. So yeah, it's oversold. You have a couple of days, you think it's just going to continue, and that's a reversal. It is not. Actually, it's just a great entry versus the point of control into a short. So you don't short it right here. You short it whenever you see that red, which was the 1384, and then you hit 20%, 25% drop in the stock, right? Into target, probably 1086. So that's when trading becomes a little bit more complicated, right? When you start reading into those levels and you start seeing like, wow, we haven't changed the main momentum or the main trend that we have for this stock. Now let's look at Twitter, and I know it was bad on the earnings front. So what we have is I want to focus on the monthly chart, right? The monthly chart is bringing us here into prior pivot. Prior pivot was the high for last year, which was around 55, and that's exactly where we stopped, right? So this could be an interesting area. Um, I'm not one to play for like it's not a strategy of mine to play like over the high just because it's a we're gonna close the gap. But I think although I hate trading Twitter, I think could be interesting just because of the massive amount of volume that we saw over the last 2 days. Not today, over the last 2 days. So I want to see what's going on if we happen to take 56, right? If we happen to take 56 and they're going to run it, our target would be 57.60, which is pretty decent, and then 60. So let's look at Twitter and put it as a reversal, right? That's all I'm going to be watching. Like if we take 50 again, we go over 56 on a closing basis. Can we take it to 57.50 and $60? That's big question mark, right? If we start going down, bear in mind that you're at the 200 MA. See how it resolves. See how all of this volume is gonna come into play right here. Once you start breaking, well, if those were buyers, it's probably going to be a big flush. So what you want to see is if we break the low, like 52.50, we need a flush. Okay, so if you're doing momentum under 52.50 for Twitter with a flush, has to be a flush. And then we take it for our target could be in the 48s, which is decent too. That's close to 10% too. So Twitter, interesting. Facebook, we already did. And then we have Snap, Pins, and I don't know what else is social media. So Snap. I think it's sideways, guys. I think it's sideways. Not even earnings report did it. You know, that's what I think that's what make it so hard, at least for me, during April, that I was expecting some of these reports to actually take those stocks out of the range, but it's just like nothing. So what am I know we were looking at Snap with Carly like for 3 or 4 days trying to see the break, and it looked like it was gonna go. So yeah, if you get a 58, that's a good trade. But then it never go. Like we really wanted to go over 65, and now you overhold it for 2 days. You have to take your whatever win or loss you have right there. I'm talking about potential intra to swing trade, right? So we tested 55, right? And 55, it's over three standard deviations. So shorting it right at three standard deviations is like you're a little bit too late, and you're extended, and you're into support right here. So that's not even a short for me. Not today, right? Could have been a reversal, but then it's a different play, right? So what I'll be looking to do with this one is like keep an eye on 65, and now keep an eye on 53.21. Because if we start revisiting the 53.21, then you can do the 50, then you can do the 40 something. But it's not something that it really gets me excited, unless we get some news, some catalyst that probably is going to move it. But not even earnings report did it. So I don't know. We gotta focus on something else. I'll say paints. So we have massive volume on earnings. Clearly, professional sort of gap, meaning gapping down and staying down for the day with a continuation over after 2 days under prior low. We hit, and I think that's target one. Target one was the 200 MA on a daily chart, a 58.50 today. Hit it, bounce, right? Am I gonna go counter trend on that one? Why would I? Unless the market is like really showing me that I need to go reversal trade. So what I'm doing it like to keep it technically, I want to see how we react to 67.31, right? 67.31 will be a close over the high of the month, but the problem is that it's only the first 3 days of the month. So let me go to the weekly. Let me just change that because now I just realized that it's only the 4th of May. So we can play with the 70. I'm trying to game plan it here. Or what we can do actually, which is looks like a better idea, is try to play this range, right? We tested the 50. We know it held so far. So we have a solid drop right here. I want to see momentum coming back. That's my main thing. If pins, I don't know about the business, I don't know about anything, but I want to see momentum coming back. So put alert 67 over 70. We can start probably thinking about it 70, 75, 80, and then we work with that. Okay. Last time, what was it? We said pin rest under 69 for 60. So I think that trade played out 69 for 60. So the short work as talked about last session. So I think it's done unless we go over 69, 67, 69, and then we start changing. So put that one on the winning column. Totally missed that one. Totally missed that short on pins. And the note was social media mainly down to the bear side. Then we did continue what we did last time, so we can review the same notes. Let me go with Boeing and transportations. They were talking that they were a little higher today. SPY is holding a little bit better. Um, that's a key point, right? In Boeing, the clear one is 213, 215, which is the daily point of control. You can all see it. But the second biggest, and I want you guys to notice that, start noticing that, right? This green bar is really important, right? This is the one that everybody got caught, probably shorting, and that was a big reversal. Then you have the massive volume down right here. So this is a key level, whatever side we start working, um, could be interesting for me, right? So I want to be on top of Boeing over a close over the 50 MA, which is going to be 20, 40, 50, right? For a possible trade into this level right here, which is like 250, 253. Not big, but could do it. Could do it. I like the fact that he's holding this base, right? The other side would be you need to take the lows. You take the lows to 25, you go for 213, and there's going to be some reaction in here. Look at last time what happened. So this is an area that is usually you know, like you start seeing the big bars coming into that. So this could be interesting. This could be interesting. I like the hammer or pin bar. I learned that term, the pin bar. So that's one. I like the 50 MA, but ideally, I want to see it like if we continue with the bullish little momentum that we have right now, right? So over 240, 50, 250 for 253, that'll be Boeing. And then I think we did um UAL. Why UAL? Let me see. UAL. What was the call for UAL? For UAL, we said last time, second day play on the 48.93 for 45. So yeah, I think it dropped all the way, but it never got to 45. So that's good because that's a failure. We have the earnings report, big volume, so we know the strength of the bears on that one, right? They couldn't take it below 50. So now this is actually interesting for a reversal trade, right? I want to see it going over 55, right? That 55 right there could be interesting, right? We know the bears, how strong they are, but they got trapped right here pretty much by the bulls. Um, 55 break on volume can take us to 50 to 60. I'm sorry, right? When we come into the daily chart, that's going to be more apparent, right, to you guys. So what we have is like we have this last move from here to the high, and then we came back all the way. We tested the 20 MA, right? We were here at 2 standard deviation, little extended, came back, tested the mean, the 50 MA, the 20 MA, and now we're holding here, right? So what I want to see is I want to see momentum. We can see the 55. We're probably going to go 60 and 65. So that's UAL. So UAL over 55, 60 and 65. Okay, I don't know if you guys want to check any other airline. Delta, not looking as good. Not at all. Not looking as good. Uh, Probably keep an alert at $40. And then anything else as far as airlines? No. Okay, let's move on then. Airlines not interested anymore. Let's go to. You want to do a little bit of the cruise lines? Just double check what they're doing. So CCL sideways, still sideways. RCL sideways. Norwegian NHLC, is it? No. N. Where's Norwegian? Cruise lines. Well,
NCLH.
NCLH. Little better. I like it. Just keep this one as a watch, potential watch, as a breakout play. 33, 34, right? Just because of that, 33, 34 for 42. So NCLH over 33, 50, 34 for 42. Yeah. Okay. So that's NCLH. And now let's do some China. See what's going on in China. Baba. I have so many lines in this one. So I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, trying 2. When's earnings? Earnings is 513. So we're coming a little bit too close for my liking into earnings. What I like about this one is point of control holding right here, still there, 230. Try to break 50 MA, brought it back down. So probably next time, 238, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep the same pole. 238, 248. That's when I want to get involved into Baba. For now, do I want to short it? Not really, to be honest. Based on where we are in a monthly chart, I think this is like, you see, guys, we did this, we put the high, came back sideways for like 2 years. then finally broke, and now we're testing again the place where we broke. I know it's like off by a couple dollars, but it's pretty much the same area. So I really want to see it if we can go 250. That's when it gets really interesting, right? Let's you can see it right there, 246 to 60 support resistance, longer term, weekly charts, monthly chart. That's what I'm trying to get into Baba. So let's go do Baidu. Let's see if the chart looks any different, and then it's like saying like monthly volume is going to be 222, so I'm waiting for that reversal, like whenever, if at all, we start seeing momentum. Now this is interesting, right? Because we have 518, so we still have 14 days to trade this one. This could be a momentum trade to the downside, guys. We're about to break this level right here, the 195. So we didn't bounce today with the market. Um, the monthly have support at 180. The daily can show us some support into 197 and 184. So if we really get it the momentum, here's the other thing I like. We were into a daily squeeze and we finally broke today. So this is like day one. So we can have a couple momentum days on this one. So Baidu, I'm gonna put it probably for tomorrow as a momentum short, right? You all know how to trade this. Prior day low, 197 for quick scalp into 194, 192, and then 185. That'll be the whole piñata. Oh, tomorrow, Cinco de Mayo. Okay, Baidu, NCLH, we got it. JD, you traded JD these days, right, Kyle? I think one day or no?
No.
No. It's just I see those daily charts. I don't even like it. Yeah, because I think somebody asked about JD and we said under 74 for 70 and 60. Not even. We broke 74, we went for 72, so it's not even worth the trouble. So Zoom are we said 245, the 50 MA. So whenever we go, why did I say 245? That's gotta be a mistake. Oh, that's square. We say 375 for 405. Never there. Zoom continues to break lows. So we just made a new low for the year today. Uh, like I said, like this one, so hard to short. It's hard to short. Um, but we have 18 days in a squeeze. So that squeeze is about to fire. And if it fires to the downside, we can see a move into 250. So how do we enter this thing? So basically this is what I'm talking about, right? We have a news earnings report. We still have a month for that one. Target could be the test of this base right here, the 250. If we get into continuation could be tomorrow actually, because we made a new low today. So a lot of people will have it as Zoom made new low for the year yesterday. Volume was a little higher than usual. We're still in a squeeze. So we have, as filters, we have in a squeeze. We have a higher than average volume. We have a new low. Can you do momentum on that one? I'll probably say yes. So let's keep an eye on Zoom for those of you guys who like to trade it. So 298, and then, like I said, target could be 282. Yeah, 22 and 256. Okay, so that's Zoom. Piton. Now we're into the close economy, old economy sort of stuff. Piton. We said for Piton, I think we're waiting for the 100, right? The 115 to 122. Didn't trigger. So did we break lows? No, not yet. Here's the low for the year. 92.03. So we almost got there. 92.73. So we're testing lows. So let's keep an eye on that 92. I don't want to be playing support resistance on this one. Why? Because we just make a new low. Right? The prior pivot low was this one right here at 99. We just made it at 92. So that's almost 8% below. So yeah, surfboards. Absolutely. So uh, I want to see how we react to 102. That's my note. Piton, point of control, daily point of control at 102. I want to see how we react in there. If we put like a reversal pattern, we probably go short. If we got the momentum. Here's the other thing we gotta note is like the 50 EMA is about to cross the 200, right? You know, like they call that like the cross of death or something like that, death cross. So here it is. 50 is about to cross the 200. Last time it did it, I don't know what was that. Probably was to the upside, of course. So now we're finally seeing some extra momentum things. So probably we cross, we go to 103, and we probably can get a decent short without 3 point stop, and that probably is gonna be the one that takes us to 80, 90, 80. How low is it gonna go? I have no idea. Check this out, guys. Check this out. Here's where we are on Piton. So we do have the volume right here. Once we lose this momentum, I mean this volume, this momo, we have nothing till pretty much 70 could be target one, but then like I don't want to think it's gonna go to 30. I don't think so. I don't think so. But 75, yes, like 80. So 100, I want to keep an eye on that one. So Piton, buy a real bike. Come ride with me in Miami. Not a problem. Piton, let's do Doku. Um, for Doku, not interested. So we go 224, and that's for the long. For the short, if I were to, we have a down day on 2 times the average volume. So I think momentum is changing on this one. And the fact that we close under all of these, actually, this can be a very aggressive short idea, but I like it. Just because we might be in a good place to enter, right? Ideally, I wish I've done a 230, but I think if we start breaking lows like 201, 200, it's worth it, guys. I think it's worth it. 188, 190, 188 for target one, and then we get lucky. Who knows? Earnings, let me see. 6.3. So we have a month. Target one is 188, 182, 188. So where are we trading now? 204. I think if momentum carries, this could be one. This could be interesting, guys. So I'm gonna write down Doku, potential short momentum. Doku, Momo, short. What was the low for today? 202, like 203, 202.70 something, 202.70. Target one, 195. Let's make it like two standard deviations for target one. So 195 could be target one. 192. Once we break 192, 188. Interesting. Interesting. Doku. Uh, Lulu. I think that this was discussed last time because I think Hassan was waiting for the breakout, right? So we got 313, 330 point of control, 313, 330 point of control, but we needed a break over 330. Really, really never trigger because we don't have the volume. So stays right there. Like 340 might get interesting. sorry, interesting. I like the fact that this is this accumulation right here, but this is a yearly level, and this is like 5 months now. So we're talking about 17 months. So like alerts and keep your eyes somewhere else till you get the call from the stock telling you that it's going to move today, right? That's what we thrive. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to keep the focus. CrowdStrike, we were thinking 223, so it stays the same. I just want to do the breakout play. Why? Because the base that I usually like when I see like a couple lines like aligned together or close to it, I may get interested, right? Like right here. But in here, it's just like we're doing this year's volume. So this is like all of this range right here, 229, but it's not a big range. 188, 229. Yes, it's a big range if you pick and decide that you're gonna actually trade it as a range. In that case, your long was today, right? And you just buy support and then you try to ride it all the way to 220 something, right? Um, it's in a range, and I'm gonna call it as a range rather than. So 198 by 228. So CrowdStrike is a range 198 to 228. Not easy trying to forecast what this is going to be doing in 15 days or within the next 15 days, especially when the charts are like really like how long have I been waiting for this one, right? And there's the same play monthly buy over 22 for 25. Try it a couple times, never trigger. Squeeze is 36 days. So this thing is being trading sideways on a low volatility, but I want to make sure that if it starts moving, I want to be in this trade. Okay. And then let's do um, let's do some banks, right? So let's go. JP Morgan. JP Morgan looks really good. This is the daily chart. I like it because it can be momentum. I know banks were strong today, so we can probably on a day like today where we can see some XLF potential. It's right at the point of control. I can trade it as a momentum breakout play on a daily. So over 155.60, JP Morgan is a go as a Momo. And that's a good catch. And let's see what Goldman is doing then. It's a little farther away from point of control, but I think the same premise works. So if you take the highs, it's just a momentum over all-time highs. So Momo over all-time highs. Wells Fargo, what's Wells doing? Wells continue to, well, we hit targets 45.74. And as a daily buy, you can play it as a daily buy. So 45.80 for 49. So 45.80 for 49 on Wells Fargo. 45.80 for 49. That's 10% move. Some industrials, I think it's like John Deere, solid base on a daily. We have good volume too. That the whole volume for the year. Look at that, 379 is sitting at 365. So this is solid. Like this is like 2021. This is with last year. So I think this is the main thing we gotta be watching. I don't know how this one trades, but the call is simple again. Over highs 392 for John Deere, and Oracle, which is back alive. This is actually pretty good. So what we had is that we have the high right here, gap down, got bought, broke to new highs, retest. So we're finally moving out of the retest, right? So a little extended for my liking, but we have a clear range that we can work with, right? Like 75 by 7, 75 by 80. So you can either trade momentum 78.50 into 80, but I want to treat it as a range in this case because we already did like a couple moves into that. So 75 by 80 into Oracle and 80 over 80, of course, is a breakout play that I'll be looking to do. Hassan says Caterpillar is the same as Deere, industrials, uh, economy. So breakout play 237. I like the fact that you're in a squeeze, 11-day squeeze could be interesting actually because of that. Is it in a weekly squeeze? No, it's not. Is it in a monthly squeeze? I don't have it here. Daily. Could be interesting. I like it. I like it. I don't trade. I don't usually trade cat, but I see that earnings are out. So once we take the high of the earnings day or 237.78, that'll be your go-to, right? I think we're done with time, guys. Lennar, home builders. You see lumber prices? They say that it's like 300% for the cost of a house, something like that. Like it's just gone crazy, man. So 187, I don't know if they're going to be able to pass on that to consumers. Is in a squeeze, play it as momentum, 107.44, absolutely. Right. So far, um, my main watch for tomorrow, of course, is going to be the Qs because of what we talk about, the 50 MA that we tested, the 334. I want to see how we react to that. I have a market play, could be Apple if it decides to work with the market, the Facebook, right? The short in pins. Um, we got some things. If you like the banks, could be a long in JP Morgan. I mean, I'm sorry, JP Morgan or yeah, JP Morgan or Goldman. Uh, we got things, guys. We got things, and just we gotta be more
Solid list.
extra selective, right? Yep. Thank you so much for your time, guys.
Thank you, Mario.
Not a problem. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, I'll
5
see
de
you guys in the
Mayo.
morning.
Bring the tacos and the piñatas.
And
Tequila.
margaritas, huh?
Yeah, man, tequila.
All
Okay,
right, have a good
guys.
evening, everyone.
Rest well. See you guys tomorrow.